The catastrophic Palisades fire left no room for mercy, reducing multi-million-dollar estates to a wasteland of smoke and ash. Among the devastation were the lavish homes of Hollywood's elite, now standing as mere shadows of their former grandeur. These were not just structures but vessels of memories, painstakingly built over decades. For many, the loss extended far beyond the financial. It was a deeply emotional tragedy. From Eugene Levy to John Goodman and Mel Gibson, the fire's path of destruction upended lives in unimaginable ways, leaving even the wealthiest temporarily displaced and grappling with the emotional weight of their losses. 1. Eugene Levy. Eugene Levy, widely recognized for his role as the hilariously lovable patriarch of Schitt's Creek, faced an unimaginable tragedy when his Malibu retreat was consumed by fire. The property, valued at $7 million, was much more than just a luxurious residence. It served as a sanctuary where Levy and his family spent countless, cherished moments. From quiet evenings with loved ones to holiday gatherings, the home was a canvas of years' worth of memories, making its loss even more devastating than a mere financial blow. The fire did not just destroy a house, it wiped away personal treasures that could never be replaced. While Levy's fame provided him with the resources to rebuild, the emotional cost of the loss was immeasurable. For Levy, it wasn't simply about losing a piece of real estate, but the erasure of a personal legacy woven into the fabric of the home. 2. John Goodman. Another celebrity whose life was turned upside down by the destructive forces of wildfire was John Goodman. The beloved actor, best known for his role on Roseanne, was left stunned when his $8 million mansion, nestled in an idyllic location, was engulfed by flames. Situated in a peaceful stretch of land, the house had been a testament to Goodman's years of hard work and accomplishments in Hollywood. It was not just a residence, but a symbol of his success, a place filled with memories of both his professional triumphs and personal joys. Yet, in the blink of an eye, it was all reduced to ashes. Goodman, like many others, had little time to react, left with no more than the clothes on his back. The destruction was swift and unforgiving, a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of life, no matter one's status. Goodman's story highlights not only the financial toll such disasters take, but also the emotional devastation that comes when everything you've worked for is lost in an instant. 3. Mel Gibson. One of the most heartbreaking tales among these celebrity losses is that of Mel Gibson, whose $15 million Malibu estate was completely destroyed in a wildfire. Purchased from David Duchovny and Téa Leoni in 2008 for $11.5 million, the house had become more than just a luxury property for Gibson. It was an integral part of his life, filled with personal memorabilia and priceless artifacts. At the time of the fire, Gibson was in Austin, Texas, recording a podcast with Joe Rogan. Although he was aware of the growing danger, he chose to continue with his work, only to return to a scene of devastation. His beloved home, which had been filled with memories of his family, friends, and career, was completely obliterated by the flames. Gibson's loss extended far beyond the financial. It was the erasure of over a decade's worth of cherished moments, a feeling of displacement that went beyond the tangible. In the aftermath, he expressed frustration with the government's response to the wildfire crisis, criticizing what he saw as inadequate efforts to mitigate such disasters. His story reflects the emotional toll of losing not just material possessions, but a piece of one's personal history that can never be replaced. 4. Jeff Bridges. For Jeff Bridges, the fire was not just a loss of property, it was the erasure of a family legacy. The actor's ancestral Malibu home, valued at an estimated $15 million, was built in the 1950s and had served as the family's refuge for decades. The house was more than just a place to live. It was a repository of memories, a connection to his family's past. Bridges' father, Lloyd Bridges, had spent time there, and the house contained priceless heirlooms and artifacts passed down through generations. The fire, however, reduced everything to ashes, leaving the actor feeling as though he had lost a piece of his own identity. In an emotional interview following the devastation, Bridges described the home as the story of my family, a place filled with the echoes of his ancestors. Despite the loss, Bridges expressed deep gratitude toward the brave firefighters who risked their lives to battle the flames, even though their efforts couldn't save his private paradise. For Bridges, the house was not just a structure, but a living testament to his family's history, a history now lost to the fire. 5. Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis, the iconic actress known for her roles in Halloween and True Lies, also faced the heartbreaking loss of her home to a wildfire. Her Brentwood residence, valued at $12 million, was a unique, eco-friendly architectural masterpiece. Curtis and her family had called the home their own for over 2 decades, and it held deep personal significance for them. Despite Curtis's best efforts to salvage treasured items, the fire's ferocity left little hope of saving anything. With the flames raging uncontrollably, she and her family were forced to seek refuge in hotels, displaced from their beloved home. In the aftermath of the tragedy, Curtis used her platform to speak out about the global crisis of climate change, drawing attention to the increasing frequency and intensity of wildfires and their devastating impact on communities, particularly those in vulnerable areas. Curtis's loss was a personal one, but she was quick to turn her grief into action, urging others to consider the urgent need for environmental change and better preparedness in the face of natural disasters. 6. Maria Shriver. Maria Shriver, the prominent journalist and philanthropist, faced the destruction of her $12 million Malibu villa in the wake of a devastating wildfire. The villa, an architectural marvel, was not just a place of residence, but a reflection of Shriver's life, a sanctuary filled with memories of her late mother, Eunice Kennedy Shriver, and moments shared with her grown children. As the flames raced toward her home, Shriver managed to escape with only a few precious keepsakes. However, the emotional toll of losing irreplaceable family mementos was far more profound. The villa had been a repository of her family's legacy, and its destruction was a heartbreaking loss of personal history. Despite the pain of the tragedy, Shriver quickly turned her grief into action. She used her platform to advocate for other families affected by the wildfires, highlighting the urgent need for better prevention and response efforts. Shriver also stressed the importance of environmental stewardship, using her experience to raise awareness about climate change and its role in the increasing frequency of wildfires. Shriver's story is one of resilience, showing how even in the face of profound personal loss, individuals can channel their energy into making a positive impact on the world. 7. Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins, the Academy Award-winning actor best known for his iconic portrayal of Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs, also found his Malibu villa ravaged by the wildfires. Estimated at $10 million, the villa had been a sanctuary for Hopkins, filled with artistic treasures and personal memorabilia. Among the irreplaceable items lost in the fire was Hopkins's Oscar, an award that represented not only his professional achievements, but his dedication to his craft. Despite the overwhelming devastation, Hopkins maintained his characteristic composure. Known for his calm demeanor in the face of adversity, he expressed deep gratitude toward the firefighters who worked tirelessly to save as much as possible. While the loss of his home and prized possessions was devastating, Hopkins's resilience inspired others. In interviews, he reflected on how the fire had shifted his perspective on material wealth, emphasizing the importance of cherishing the relationships and moments that truly matter in life. Hopkins's ability to remain grounded in the aftermath of such a loss serves as a powerful example of strength and grace. 8. Diane Warren. Diane Warren, the legendary songwriter who has earned 13 Oscar nominations, experienced a catastrophic loss when her $10 million beachfront home in Malibu was consumed by the wildfire. The home, which had long served as her creative sanctuary, was where Warren wrote some of the most enduring songs in music history. From her work with Celine Dion to her collaborations with Whitney Houston, Warren's home was filled with priceless memories and creative inspiration. As the flames approached, strong winds accelerated the fire's destruction, leaving Warren with no time to save anything. The fire obliterated personal possessions, including early drafts of her music and photographs with iconic artists. Warren confided in interviews that it felt as though a part of her soul had been wounded, as the home had been the backdrop to her life's work. However, despite the profound grief of losing such a significant part of her life, Warren demonstrated incredible strength and resilience. She found solace in helping others who had also lost their homes, raising funds for animal rescue efforts, and supporting other wildfire victims. Warren's ability to find purpose in the face of such a devastating loss serves as a testament to the healing power of music and compassion. 9. J.J. Redick. Former NBA star and current LA Lakers coach J.J. Redick faced a similarly devastating loss when his $10 million Brentwood home was destroyed in the same wildfire. Redick, who was taking his children to school at the time of the evacuation notice, returned to find his home reduced to ashes. Like many others, Redick had no time to salvage anything. Among the lost possessions were deeply personal items, including his first NBA Finals jersey, treasured family photos, and memorabilia from his basketball career. For Redick, the loss extended beyond the material. He described his home as a sanctuary, a place of safety and comfort for his family. Watching helplessly as the fire consumed everything he had worked so hard to build, Redick expressed gratitude for the support he received from his community, noting that while his family was fortunate enough to rebuild, many others were not. He used his platform to call for greater support for wildfire victims, emphasizing the importance of community and shared responsibility in the face of disaster. Redick's story reflects the broader reality that no matter how successful one may be, natural disasters can leave even the wealthiest feeling powerless and vulnerable. 10. Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal, the beloved Hollywood veteran, also faced the heart-wrenching loss of his home of 46 years. The $8 million house, a beautiful property with classical architecture and lush gardens, had been the heart of Crystal's family history. It was where he raised his children, hosted countless family gatherings, and created memories that spanned nearly 5 decades. Despite the tireless efforts of firefighters, the flames eventually consumed the house, leaving Crystal and his family devastated. Crystal tearfully reflected on the significance of the house, calling it the heart of my family's history. After the fire, he and his wife sought refuge in a nearby hotel, struggling to adjust to life without the home that had been such a central part of their lives. Crystal's grief was palpable, but he also used his experience to encourage others to support wildfire victims, noting that not everyone had the means to rebuild their lives as he and his family did. Crystal's story underscores the emotional toll of losing a home that has been part of one's life for so long. Despite his grief, Crystal turned his pain into advocacy, showing that even in the face of such overwhelming loss, it is possible to find strength and resilience. 11. Cary Elwes. Cary Elwes, the actor renowned for his iconic role as Wesley in The Princess Bride, faced the devastation of losing his Malibu mansion, valued at $8 million, to a raging wildfire. Located on a picturesque hillside, Elwes's home was directly in the fire's path. In the middle of the night, Elwes and his family had to evacuate, leaving behind priceless heirlooms, valuable paintings, and irreplaceable family memories. Elwes later shared his heartbreak on social media, expressing gratitude for his family's safety, but lamenting the irreplaceable loss of everything that made the house a home. He wrote, "We are fortunate to be safe, but everything else, from family mementos to valuable paintings, is gone." The emotional pain of losing a home filled with memories was evident in his words. Despite the devastation, Elwes maintained a sense of hope, saying, "We may lose everything, but hope and love never fade." His resilience in the face of tragedy, alongside his expression of love for his family, became an inspiration to many. Though Elwes lost material possessions, his optimism in emphasizing that love and hope endure beyond any disaster reflected the strength of the human spirit in times of hardship. 12. Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton, the socialite and reality TV star, was another celebrity whose Malibu beachfront mansion was destroyed by the fires. Her $8 million home, where she filmed scenes for her show Cooking with Paris and made countless family memories, was engulfed in flames within a matter of hours. Hilton, who has long been a public figure, shared her emotional response to the disaster on Instagram. She wrote, "It feels like my heart is shattered into a million pieces," reflecting the deep sense of loss she felt. Despite the heartbreak of losing a beloved home, Hilton was quick to express her gratitude for her family's safety. She also channeled her grief into action, pledging to support wildfire victims through charitable organizations. Hilton's kindness extended even further when she adopted a dog that had been abandoned in the chaos of the fire, demonstrating her compassion and resilience. Hilton's ability to turn her personal tragedy into an opportunity to help others highlighted her deep empathy and strong sense of responsibility to those affected by the disaster. 13. Adam Brody and Leighton Meester. Celebrity couple Adam Brody and Leighton Meester also faced the devastation of losing their $8 million Los Angeles home to the wildfire. The couple's modern mansion, once a gathering place for their family, was quickly reduced to ashes as the flames spread uncontrollably. Brody described the harrowing experience, saying, "We didn't have time to take anything. We just stood there watching the fire take everything." Meester, holding back tears, recalled leaving behind a box of irreplaceable keepsakes belonging to their young son, which added another layer of emotional weight to their loss. Their grief resonated deeply with their fans, who reached out on social media to offer comfort and support. The couple's loss was not just material, it was a loss of the memories tied to their home, the place where they had built their life together. Despite their anguish, Brody and Meester have remained committed to supporting the recovery efforts for other families affected by the wildfires. Their story speaks to the pain of losing a home that is central to family life. And yet their ability to share their experience with others has helped raise awareness about the broader impact of such disasters. 14. Melissa Rivers. Melissa Rivers, daughter of the legendary Joan Rivers, also faced the irreparable loss of her $6 million home to the wildfire. The house contained priceless family mementos, including Joan Rivers's Emmy statue and vintage family photos that had been passed down through generations. For Rivers, the loss was more than just the destruction of property, it was the erasure of her family's legacy. Rivers shared her grief with the public, saying, "It's not just about the house or possessions, it's about what can never be replaced." The loss of such treasured items was deeply painful, and Rivers reflected on how the fire took not only the physical remnants of her family's history, but also the emotional connection tied to those objects. However, despite the immense sorrow, Rivers expressed gratitude toward the firefighters who had fought to save as much as possible. She also encouraged the community to support those affected by the wildfires, highlighting the broader human impact of such disasters. Rivers' ability to remain compassionate and focused on helping others despite her own loss shows the strength and resilience that often emerges in the wake of tragedy. 15. Jen Atkin. Jen Atkin, the renowned hairstylist known for working with the Kardashian family and other Hollywood stars, also lost her $5.5 million Los Angeles mansion to the wildfire. The fire struck unexpectedly at midnight while Atkin and her husband were out of town. Within hours, their luxurious home, which featured an infinity pool and a home studio, was engulfed in flames. The destruction of her property was swift and complete, taking everything from high-fashion clothing to imported furniture and the studio where Atkin created iconic hairstyles for her celebrity clients. Yet, amidst the destruction, one poignant discovery provided Atkin with a small sense of comfort. The gravestone of her beloved dog had remained intact in the midst of the ruins. Atkin reflected on her loss, saying, "Things can be rebuilt, but the memories and love in my heart will always remain." Her resilience and optimism in the face of tragedy became a beacon of hope as she prioritized her family's safety and began supporting relief efforts for others affected by the fires. Atkin's response to her loss exemplifies how one can find solace in love and memories, even when faced with overwhelming material destruction. In conclusion, the losses faced by Carrie Elwes, Paris Hilton, Adam Brody and Leighton Meester, Melissa Rivers, and Jen Atkin serve as a stark reminder of the unpredictable and devastating nature of wildfires. For each of these individuals, the loss of their homes was not just a financial blow. It was the loss of a sanctuary filled with memories, cherished possessions, and a connection to family history. Yet, despite the profound emotional toll, each of them exhibited incredible resilience in the face of such overwhelming adversity. These stories also reflect the broader challenges posed by natural disasters in an era of climate change. Wildfires, which have become more frequent and intense in recent years, affect not only the physical environment but also the emotional and psychological well-being of those impacted. The celebrities who shared their experiences with the world used their platforms to advocate for others, raise awareness about the dangers of wildfires, and call for greater environmental responsibility. Through their stories, we see that while material possessions can be lost, the strength of the human spirit and the love that connects families can never be destroyed. In the aftermath of such losses, the resilience, compassion,